back on the streets again, getting opinions from random people on random subjects. And contrary to popular belief, there are a lot of good teachers out there doing a difficult job trying to teach our kids in a world that's trying to dumb them down. And this is a good example of one. This is the kind of teacher you'd want to have teaching your children. So hope you enjoy this one, and you know what you do. If you like it, you like it. If you care, you share. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And if you have subscribed, subscribe again, because they do kick us off. And if you can, please support my efforts to be out there to do the battle on the streets, which is the front lines. So my PayPal account, you can contribute that way through badassuncle76@gmail.com. Or what I really like is when you go to my shop at Threadless. They have good quality. Get yourself a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, a cell phone cover, or a mug, and spread the message. And all my designs do come with a trigger back guarantee. If you do not trigger a liberal, you will get your money back. So I hope you enjoy this one, and if you do, hallelujah. Remember, this is a spiritual battle. We are fighting on a material plane, so please give me the material I need to stay out there and fight this battle. God bless you. Let's get to this one. What are you doing now?
Hi, teacher.
Oh, what do you teach?
Middle school science, and I'm certified to teach math and science. So, been a long time since I taught math, but mostly science.
And how many genders are there?
Oh my, yeah. You know what? Since November 2016, we're back to 2.
Amen.
You know, we started. Well, I used to tell my students, because my classroom is right next to the bathrooms. And I tell those girls, I said, look, if I hear any stuff going on in there, Obama says I can go in there.
Oh, yeah.
And they looked at me and I said, oh, yeah, look it up.
Yeah.
So,
well, actually, even like here, there was never any law that you couldn't go in, because there were a lot of unisex bathrooms around here for a long time.
Right.
You had one bathroom, so you're male if you go in. There's never no law against it.
Right.
But they make a big deal out of it, as you know, like...
I've had students that were, Frankie looked like one of the hottest 8th graders we had, But, we all knew Frankie. He had his bathroom. We made accommodations. We didn't need a president to tell us how to accommodate people like Frankie.
Are you in a public school dealing with this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In Navarre, and it's a pretty conservative district because we've got a lot of military.
Yes.
So we're not...
You don't have to deal with it too much.
As much. We're a little more common sense. We don't fly off the handle when somebody bites their Pop-Tart into a pistol or something. But yeah, I'm on the way back. I'm going to get one of those gun-free zone posters for my classroom.
Oh, great!
We'll see how long it lasts, but I'm tenured, so So what are they going to do to me? Make me teach 6th grade? You already done that, so.
Yeah. So I spoke to a retired biology teacher out here the other day, and I asked her, "Well, how many genders are?" She goes, 5?
Yeah, I think, if you look at... Yeah, I know. It's like, really? Yeah. But
I said, what?
It's crazy.
And I've talked to other teachers that have to deal with more in the liberal areas with, this stupid idiocy that they have to put up with. I really feel for teachers these days because, my God, it's the crap you have to work around just to get to teach, and then the ideology that is being pushed.
Oh, look, the last time I looked, we were 28th in the world in science, and I think we're lower now because it's all this bullshit. I even told my 6th graders the other day, a couple kids were late for class. Why are you guys late? Well, some kid kept talking back to the teacher, and the teacher held us on. I said, you know what? You'd never see this happen in a school in China or India. And I go into in those countries, education is a privilege. And you know what happened to a kid in China or India if they talk back to the teacher? They get whacked. Because I've had Indian students, and when I call them and say, hey, your kid's acting up in class, they tell me, just beat him. because that's what would happen in their country, and they'd straighten up. And I said, this is why we spend all our time dealing with this nonsense instead of teaching you guys and taking these stupid tests to prove that we're doing our jobs. And the other part of it is we're getting teachers in now that have found the easy button and figured out if they give A's to kids for just showing up, nobody's going to be on their ass. The boss is going to be happy, the parents are going to be happy, the kids are going to be happy. Oh, he's a great teacher. He doesn't do a damn thing in class, but he's a great teacher because he gives out A's.
We wind up having educated idiots.
Well, that's it. Well, they get out of high school and they can't get into a college because they can't read or write.
Yeah.
I've got 6th graders that get to 6th grade don't know how to read.
And then they get to college and they teach them how to become communists.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's all they're capable of learning by then.
Yeah.
God help it. They can't do the math or the writing. So it's a mess. It's swimming upstream.
Yeah.
And luckily there's a lot of teachers like me at that school, and that's why we do so well. But
there's a big push for homeschooling now because of this. I mean, I'm finding a lot of people are going, nope, forget it. I don't want my kids subjected to it.
And it's a lot of work if you do it right.
Yes.
And the parents that leave for that reason will probably do it right.
Yeah.
There are some that on the other side of the aisle that say, oh, you teachers are always picking on my kid, I'm going to homeschool them. And 2 years later, they're back just as dumb as when they left because they didn't follow up on the kids. You just let them
it's work. I mean, it's a job.
Right.
I mean,
it is, and you got to
be disciplined with it. I mean,
exactly.
That's the whole deal with it. This is this. You got to do this at this time.
That's it.
And no slack in here.
Nope.
And that's another thing. There's no discipline in the schools. I mean, look at the governor of New York passed just a few months ago up there now. There's no gender on the birth certificates. They're allowing the kids to pick their gender.
And kids, I don't have to tell you this, but we all know kids, if you have a brain, they want discipline. They want guidance. They want direction.
Yeah.
And it's the kids that are raised without any of these boundaries that end up all screwed up.
Yes.
Because kids want, do they want to push those limits? Of course. Well, that's how they find out where they are.
Yes.
Okay, here, you've gone too far this time. But
yeah, indeed.
Yeah, they.
Yeah, exactly right. So I tip of the hat to you for what you're doing, man. Because I mean, we need good teachers in there to remain. I've talked to teachers. Here's a get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton. I've talked to teachers like yourself, good guys, good teachers that are thought about quitting, but then they stop because they say, well, if we leave, then all the kids are going to hear is that one side.
Exactly.
So at least we're there to kind of be as an anchor, give them another.
And I teach science, and when this global warming stuff comes up.
Oh, God.
Hey, look, let's talk about science.
Yeah.
When
there you go.
How do you have to? I mean, what do they push as a curriculum? Do they push that global warming to teach?
They kind of come right out and say,
you have $1, I don't have $1.
It's man-made, but I say, there's a big debate. Is it man-made or is it natural?
I gave him
one volcanic eruption will put out more greenhouse gases than mankind has in their whole entire history. Okay? And when you skew your data, and we talk about the scientific inquiry process,
right?
When you do an experiment, you get data that doesn't support your hypothesis, you have to keep that data. You change your hypothesis. And they've been caught, and I'd say, to be fair, both sides have been caught, but they have been caught ignoring data that doesn't support their hypothesis. So now it's no longer scientific.
No.
And when you get grant money to prove that global warming exists,
follow the money.
What do you think's going to happen?
Follow the money. What I like to bring up with believers is to have them start looking up geoengineering programs.
Okay.
Because we have been manipulating the weather for a long time. I mean, there are, when you look up here, see that up there?
Yeah.
Those trails, most of the clouds up here are artificial.
Right.
So we do have geoengineering programs that, China brags about being able to go ahead and manipulate the weather. They are articles, and they published saying, yeah, we can make a ring over an area the size of France if we want. We can, we made it snow for the Olympics. They brag about it, and you look up things like HAARP, High Altitude Auroral Reception Project, which, they brag about being able to make earthquakes happen, or even start hurricanes. Look up Lieutenant Ben Livingston, who, when Eisenhower started the Department of Weather and Climate Modification, he took control of that, became known as the father of weather weapons, which we used in Operation Popeye in Vietnam to create monsoons.
Okay.
To extend the monsoon.
Okay.
To wash out the trails and whatnot.
Right.
And when the UN, that leaked out, the UN passed in 1974 the UN Weather Weapons Treaty banning the use of weather weapons. This is documented.
You didn't see any of that in the media.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. When you look this stuff up, I see that trail right there. Look, it starts right there. Look how it starts right there.
Chemtrails. Yep.
You see? I mean, that's not natural. They are spraying us like bugs. And so this stuff exists. So when people bring up this global warming thing, I say, well, why isn't the engineering programs we have, and you can look up, it's a leaked Air Force document. It's called Weather as a Force Multiplier, Controlling the Weather by 2025. And it's like a 1,500-page document where they show you all the ways that they manipulate the weather.
Wow.
I mean, this stuff is there, but they never bring it up in any global warming.
No. That doesn't support their data.
And then you had CNN, this was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, a panel of global warming experts, but we're not going to allow any skeptics on here because the science is settled.
Yeah.
Which you as a scientist knows that science is never settled.
No, it's especially when you use bogus data or when you eliminate data. When you ignore data, it's not scientific.
And there is not enough data in the world to look at to see how much we are mankind.
Right.
Because like you brought it up, compared to volcanoes, decay, with the oceans put out, right? We're like a flea fart in the back of a dog when it comes to putting CO2 in the air.
Right.
Which is another thing. CO2 is not a pollutant, it's an actual element of life.
Yeah.
Which is reciprocal because the plants breathe it in and they breathe.
Just went over that lesson with my students. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's. Yeah.
I mean, I'm speaking to the choir here. Yeah.
Well, I know, but it's like carbon footprint. I bring up Al Gore's house. In fact, I got in a flame war. I posted how. You've probably seen this article where Gore was living in this 10,000 square foot mansion all by himself that had no eco-friendly improvements at all. And meanwhile, W's ranch in Texas was like about a fifth of the size, and he had geothermal water. It was water constant 67 degrees. And he had solar and this, you're full of shit. And okay, here's the link. Yeah. Even Snopes says it's true. So if Snopes says it's true, if Snopes didn't, debunk it.
Fat lady and the cat, huh?
Right, because they're liberal as can be. And if they can't even deny it, there's got to be some truth to it. But yeah, it's Al Gore. Shit, he's a journalism major, right? And now he's an expert on global warming. Come on.
See, me and you, I mean, this stuff is so obvious that it's just absurd when we look at it that people would, fall for this crap.
All that shit. Remember Dan Quayle, how they, he's Einstein compared to Al Gore. And, I was an intelligence guy, when, oxymoron in the military, I know.
But
I went to a school at DIA in Washington, D.C., and we used to have some heavy hitters come in as guest speakers, and some of them were actually instructors. And one of them worked for Jimmy Carter, and would tell stories about, yeah, Jimmy's a good guy. He means well, but like he said, they called me up to the Oval Office Jimmy called me up to the Oval Office one day, and most of these bills, the president just, okay, looks at a few pages, signs it. He said Jimmy had this like 9,000-page bill spread all over the Oval Office, and he was going over with markers, page to page, and he's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
But one of them had worked with Dan Quayle, and he said, look, this guy is smart. Okay, he understands throw weight, and things like that, dealing with the nuclear weapons. He knows what he's dealing with. He's not a dummy.
Interesting.
He understands things.
He doesn't know how to spell potato, but he
Right. Well, everybody screws up now.
Well, not me.
Well, I tell my students, I used to be smart before I started teaching middle school. So. But anyway, I'm going to pick up one of them signs on the.
All right, brother, man.
Good talking to you.
Yeah, pleasure.
Take care.
How you doing, young lady?
I'm great. I love your
Well, thank you.
setup up here.
Thank you very much. Thank you.